Okay, so let's get started with the etiquette parts, right? So when I started in the last class, we started learning list of etiquettes, starting from online, your social etiquette, behavioral etiquettes, and when it comes to any individuals, what are the certain manners that we need to follow? And slowly we jumped into the dining etiquette. That dining etiquette is part is where we have had the recent discussion. And let's move back to where we stopped in the last class. Okay. People, were you able to view my screen? Can you all view my screen?
Author of the book Etiquette, the Least You Need to Know. In today's video, National Social Etiquette Consultant
Jamila Muzaeva. So she is the one who we Dhriti, this enrollment, it should have happened by last week, but it is still getting a little delayed. The material will be shared by today, right? I'll just share it in the group. The links of my video lectures, my PowerPoints, and in the PDF formats, the material which you can use it. So materials, I'll share it with you people. So once it has been ready by today, probably by this weekend, we'll have the enrollment start, right? Okay, so now let's get started with where we left off. Yeah, Jamila Muzaeva. She is a person whom we have uh, who was teaching us the general dining etiquettes. So let's move on from what.
and author of the book Etiquette, the Table at Ease.
Okay, let's skip the few parts which we have already discussed.
Don't press your back to the back of
highest paid.
Imagine you have a little kitten
Yeah,
behind
these
your
are the
back,
basic ones
so
which we
you
have
are not
discussed.
pressing the little kitten.
So when you are
Leave some
sitting on the
space
table,
between
you
the back
usually
of the chair
have
and
a
your own
certain
back.
position
Number
where
3.
you have
Do
the
not place
gap
your
between
elbows at the
your
table
back
when
and the
eating.
reclining part of the chair.
However, it is acceptable to place your elbows at the
Yeah,
table
placing the elbows
whenever you're
on
taking a
the
break
table.
between your
This is
meal
not
to
the
have a
allowed position.
conversation.
So as I told you in the last class, the
Number
allowed
4.
position, you have to
According
keep it
to
on the table
American dining etiquette, you're
somewhere near
supposed
the
to leave your
so that you
hands
can
on your
rest.
lap whenever you're not
That's the
holding
best
cutleries.
part
In
when you're
French dining etiquette, you're supposed to always rest your wrist at the
always
table
make your
so
hands
your hands
visible to the
remain
people whom
visible
you
to
are
your dining partners at
sharing your
all
table,
times.
right?
This comes from an old, outdated notion that you might be holding some weapon in your hand and you're hiding it on your lap underneath the table.
That's the
The
reason why
question
they're
that I
asking
get
us to
asked a
keep
lot
it
is,
on the
what should I do
hands.
with my
That was
phone
the
or
old
my
notion.
bag? The general rule is that whatever does not belong to the
How to
dining
where to
experience
keep your
bag
bag,
itself
your
should be held
gadgets,
away from
all
the
those things we
table,
have discussed.
which
And she
looks
was
like a
saying that,
hook,
yeah,
and you
the
can
back
hang
chain,
your
which I
bag
told
from
you
there.
already, no? So the back chain should
Else,
be
you can
followed.
also place your bag
Be
in an empty chair
away.
nearby,
Yep.
or it's
Last
nowadays
choice is
acceptable to
keeping
place the
it
bag
in the
behind your back.
chair which has not been
So,
occupied
but
anymore.
do it in a very rare case. Books
That
should
is
be
the
much
best part.
smaller than this, but this is what I'm going to serve
Okay,
and
so
I'll be
this table
using.
discussion also we had it, right? So these are people. What are the two positions I taught you when you're sitting on the dining? What are the two positions? B position, D position. Remember that? What is B and what is D? Anyone? What do you mean by a B position in your left hand and D position in your right hand? What do you mean by that? B and D? Can anyone put it on the chart? Yes. What do you mean by a B position and D position? Come on, guys. Ah, Susan, you're right. B is for bread and butter, and D is for all the drink. Drink starts from champagne, wine, water, whatever be the glasses it's get filled with. That comes under your D position, and B is for bread, butter, and all your major eateries that comes under your D position and D position. Okay, so these are the plates I told you already. fork should be on your left hand part, knife and spoon should be there on your right hand part, right hand side. All your drink glasses, all the different shapes of the glass, wine glass, champagne glass, and the water goblet. All the glasses should be kept right on the top of your right hand, right? So, and your serving spoon and the fork, uh, it has to be kept right adjacent or on top of your eating plate. Napkin will be kept on the plate, which you need to take it and you have to use it. Okay, so these things we have discussed already. Holding of glasses, we discussed. Using of napkin on your lap, how you have to put it on the lap. And there are two positions I showed you. One is the triangular format. The next one is your rectangular format. What she is using, yeah, this is your triangle format, what you're seeing here.
Virtue.
This is nothing but your rectangular position. So either of the way, it is good. For the men, it is better you can use your napkin around your neck. And if you want, you can get one more and you can make it on the lap as well. So it is like both you can use it. So this is the wiping etiquettes, how you have to use it. Don't wipe it like your the whole mouth where you're wiping it like a salt-paper on the a rusted area. Don't do that much. It is not required that much, right? So just a gentle wipe, that's good enough. And when you're keeping it on the table, you are done with your time. When you're keeping it on the chair, the napkin, you are about to continue your dining. So that you have to keep it in your mind. So on the table, when it is kept, it is done for the dining. And when it is on the chair, it is kept. Okay. Now, when you have dropped your napkin on the floor, what needs to be done? Anyone? Come on, guys. This we discussed in the last class. If when you have dropped your napkin on the floor, what needs to be done? Can I take it and reuse it, or what needs to be done? Anyone? Come on, guys. Quick responses. What needs to be done when I have dropped my napkin on the floor? Yeah. Susan, you are right. Only Susan is responding so quickly. Okay. People others, kindly do respond, guys. Right. Now let's move on. When you drop your napkin, of course, it's better to ask for a waiter to bring one new one. Don't take it and use it. That's not the expected etiquette to be followed in your uh, time.
My arrangement, I can see that I have a glass for water,
Okay.
a glass for white
This
wine,
is the
and a glass
arrangement
for
of the glass.
champagne.
Again, we have discussed the tall
So
one should
let's
be in the
start with
back.
the water goblet.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't have
Water
a
goblet,
stand.
if you can look at it, it will be there in the front. And champagne will be the second short glass, so second tall glass that will be here. And wine glass will be the tallest of all, so it has to be kept in the
Like you see in the
even if it has not been arranged in this particular way in your dine, you can arrange the glasses in this fashion. So people might think that okay, you have certain etiquettes in your mind, so you will be branded so differently among people.
case,
It's always
and
better.
you'd hold the. Also make sure that you hold this glass by the stem, so your fingers are
This
not
is the
actually
way we
touching the
hold
bowl
our
and are
glasses.
not
Again, we
their
discussed
taste
this one.
notes, and they need more area to
And,
breathe.
when
With the
you're
red wine
holding red wine glass and white wine glass, both has to be held differently. So kindly do have a idea on that one. When it is red wine, you can hold it here. When it is white wine, it has to be held near the area.
people, then you would wait for
Yeah,
everyone
and we
to
started
be
with
served
the
with their meal.
eating part. Soup, I told you that it has to be grabbed in this way.
Bring the spoon
Any
to my
liquid,
mouth in order to make sure that I don't get
any
any
food,
spills on my lap.
to
For
keep
my second course, I'm going to have a
having this
salad. I'm
particular
going to
snack
use a
when you're
salad
eating.
fork and salad knife.
Fork and knife
I
will
will show you two
right?
ways of eating. One is American, which I'm going to currently show you. So you cut one bite of mozzarella and tomato at a time. Then you would place your knife and then you'd switch your fork to the other hand and eat it like that.
सेविंग अकाउंट में पैसे रखना मतलब अपने पैसे
The other
But
way is the
when you're eating the
European or
fork,
continental way of
yeah,
dining,
European or the
where I would
continental way,
just
as
use
I
the
told
fork
you,
and knife
we cut
and in the
first the
same
food,
way and use it to
in the
cut
salad,
my
whatever it is, we
tomato and
kept the bottom
mozzarella.
of the food,
And then what's gonna
we
happen, I'm gonna leave the
fork
knife in my
together,
hand and
then
eat it
you
like
can
that.
turn the fork upside
Here
down
I
and you can
have my main course, which is chicken breast with
correct. On the other
parmesan.
side,
I'm gonna
use
use
the
the
fork to
main
the right
course
hand,
fork
then
and a main
eat
course
like this.
knife
So this is the second way.
to
That's the
cut
normal way.
the
Continental
chicken
or European
breast
way is this way.
one piece
Chicken.
at a time.
So chicken breast, when you're eating it,
When you're done
be
with the
very
meal, you
careful.
place your fork and knife in a position 12 to 6 o'clock with tines facing upward or downward, like the French dining etiquette does
So as a
usually.
French time,
Or you can also
fork should
place
be
it in a
pointing
position of
downwards.
10 to 4 o'clock, just like this, and with a fork facing tines facing down or facing up. It's up to you. Once you've finished your main course, it's now time to enjoy the dessert. This is the perfect time to excuse yourself from the table and use the bathroom if you wish so. So here I have a dessert fork and a dessert spoon.
Okay, look the way the
I
dessert
will
has been
slide
conceived,
them to
guys.
the
So
both
when it comes
sides,
to dessert,
respective sides.
you need to be very careful in
I'm going to be using
using
a
that.
fork as a holder and a spoon to cut as a knife. So I'm going to hold the dessert with a fork and cut it with the spoon.
Yeah, look at the way
Then
she's
I'm going to
holding
use
it.
the fork to push any
Don't cut the
remaining
folded part.
particles that I
It
want
has to
on
be
my spoon
folded
and
one
use the
position,
spoon to
and
eat my dessert.
cutting has to happen on the other side.
Once you're done
Okay,
eating
kindly
your
observe
dinner,
that one.
it's
When she's doing it,
and use the spoon.
the fork was, yeah, the holding of fork is on this side, and to consume something from the dessert, she's cutting on the other side. So this is the way you have to start eating your dessert. So kindly to observe this one very closely.
The fork to push any remaining particles that I want on my spoon and use the spoon to eat my dessert. Once you're done eating your dinner, it's time to indicate to the waiter that you're expecting the bill. You can do so by having eye contact with the waiter or by raising your hand at your elbow. Once you have paid the bill, it's time to leave. You should take your napkin, fold it not too neatly, and place it on the left side of your plate and leave.
So when you're leaving, ensure that the napkin has been kept on the left side of your dining area. Right? So fold it neatly, and it is not to be folded so neatly. It has to be kept, it has to be folded in the triangle form. Keep it on the right hand part of your dining area.
If you're the host, you do so indicating to your guest that it's time to leave. If you're a guest, you watch the host to do so and you leave.
Yes. So when you are a host, you have to wait till the guest do so. Then you have to follow it. Or if you are a guest, then it is up to you. Now, if when you do it, and people will be, the host will be expecting you to make your first move. So kindly you have to denote, is it time to leave or not? So kindly always make a note of this one, guys. Are you a guest or a host? When you're a host, you have to wait till the guest make the first move.
On a final note, if this was a dinner you were invited to, make sure you send a thank you message to the host the next.
Yes, this is the after dining moment. One is sending a thank you message to the people who provided you such a wonderful dining experiences. So it is better to drop in at least drop in a message to convey that you felt so gratitude for that particular time and the experience what you had with them, and you would have had a conversation as well. So when you have had a conversation, that could be a exchange of ideas also would have happened. So it is expected to leave a simple humble a thank you message that could lead or that could make people to think that okay, your manners and etiquettes are really found to be in a stronger area. All right, so kindly do that one. That's most expected.
Day. If you really truly love the dinner experience, you might also consider sending flowers.
This is next level. So when you're highly enthused and you really like the particular experience, you can go one step ahead by sending flowers or some sort of small gifts as a token of a reminder of that particular experience. That's the next step that you can be done.
With a beautiful handwritten thank you note.
Yeah, leaving the handwritten thank you note that brings that you are traditionally etiquetted a person. So people will have that particular mindset in your when you're having this handwritten thank note, leaving that it's kind of old one, but again, people will have a different attention towards or liking towards these kind of small elements. So kindly do that once.
I guarantee you a beautiful handwritten thank you note will serve you a long, long way. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you.
So guys, that's for the etiquettes what we have discussed, right? That's all about your dining etiquettes. So now let's go back to the portion where we stopped. Of course, dining etiquettes. We have listened to enough etiquettes for the dining part. Okay, now this is most important, guys. This is most important one, which is nothing but your interview etiquettes. So when it comes to an interview, when you're attending it, there are certain tips or there are certain do's and don'ts when you're attending your interview, right? So certain things which I observed or which I feel that you could have had a different mindset or you could have had a different or a top performing experience when you know these kind of elements in your interview, right? So now let's quickly go through what are the things which you can do, which you are affordable to do when you're attending the interview, and what could bring you a better a face value among the interviewers when you're doing this kind of following these kind of interview etiquettes. Let's see one by one. Of course, certain things which you have discussed time and again throughout everywhere it matters a lot. For example, timing is everything. As I told you, this it's a very very important note. So we cannot say that timing is everything. Don't be late. Don't be too early. That both can be avoided. You can be on time, perfectly on time. That's the first thing. Dress to impress. Always dress to the best of best what you can create impression on your on the among the interviews on you. So dress to impress always. Okay. Now let's come back to few things after this. First one, when you're attending the interview, there is nothing wrong in getting to know the people who are interviewing you, right? Why it is very important? In certain places, people will be expecting you to call by their names, right? Mr. John, Mr. Franklin. Um, so these kind of names will give a better opinion about you because you have come to the interview panel with the preparation to the cohort where you understood who are the people you are being interviewed. So this knowing about the person who is interviewing you, it's a very very important one, and it is not that easy to get that information because you are sitting there in the front panel. At times, if it is a surprise interview panel is there, probably they don't disclose the names. On the other hand, the interviewers they themselves will introduce to you. So at that time, you have to be very very alert, right? So because all the names you need to allow. If it is 7 people who are interviewing you, either 1 or 2 people will introduce every single interview panel member to you. So at that time, you need to be tentative. You cannot keep on thinking what I'm going to say for the self-protection problem. What if this question is how I'm going to answer? These kind of thoughts should not be there in your mind. You should be keenly watching the names or listening to the names when introducing the person who introduced the panel to you. Be very keen because people will be observing all this. And when it has been expected to answer that question, if it is a couple of people who are sitting with a professor category, nothing wrong. You can ask about Professor Rao. For example, someone is sitting as named as Professor Rao. So you can tell them, Professor Rao, thank you for contributing through to the table, and that provides a lot of insights to me. So that is really helpful for me to move forward. So like this, when you're addressing on their name, that gives a different kind of impression among you on the minds of the people. Always be very crucial on that one, right? When someone asks me without knowing who am I, or someone talks to me knowing that I'm Professor Arun, probably my intention or my attention towards the person who knows me will be more in my mind. That's the reason knowing the interviewer is more important. Okay, so try to grab this point. You should know who you are being interviewed by. You should know the introductions of the interviewer profile, at least the basic profile, name, designation, what is that person. Basic information, definitely it is required. So kindly practice on that one. Second one is turn off your mobile phone, have a drink, meaning once you are being invited to, then nothing wrong. You can have a drink There is nothing wrong sipping coffee or sipping something. And practice your handshakes. Handshakes, definitely you need to practice this. Men to men, firm. Men to women can be lighter. And it depends on how firm the women is. Right? So it completely depends on the gender. And similarly, for women also, it's the same. So it's women to women, it can be firm. And women to men, it can be lighter or it can be tighter as based on the men, how firm he or she is. So it depends. Always be prepared for the interview. As I told you, because for example, you are giving your curriculum today. When you share your resume with the person, they will be expecting that you know in and out of your resume because it's your resume. You have drafted that. If he asks something from the resume, you should be 100% concrete in answering that. You cannot say that, very sorry, I drafted the resume very long, but I'm not able to recollect. That's all. You're doomed. That particular answer is not expected from you when it comes to a resume. You can answer that one for any other purposes or any other question, not for the resume question. Resume question, you have to be fully prepared. Anything in and out of your resume, you should be able to answer from your memory. Think that. Okay, don't overshare. Where majority of the people know commit this mistake. Don't overshare information. For example, sir, I'm very much close to my family. If you relocate me to some other place, then I will be missing my mom, wife, and my kids. Without them, where I'm not able to survive for long and I'm not able to keep the stress points and all unnecessary informations. Stop that. Right? Don't overshare something which is not required for that particular table. Every weekend I go for a night drive with my friends, and if at all you are putting me scheduled to work on that particular day, it will be really awkward. Don't ever share the information which is not required to be shared in that panel. Right? Very important. The last point, but one of my favorite ones, show gratitude. When someone is asking you to introduce yourself, quickly people will start, I'm so and so person from so and so family, I'll be of this sort, I've just bent the sky, I've done all these things, my milestones are so and so, I've received all the rewards. Always when someone asks you to introduce yourself, the first good sense person will show a thank you, show a gratitude. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself to you all. Hopefully you would have gone through my resume and majority of the information, hopefully you would have gone through. And I would like to share that piece of information which is not available in the resume and which could be really useful for the interview panel to move forward. This is the right way to start your introduction. I will not say this is the best way. Minimal expectation is this. You can go bend the story so beautifully, narration and so on all can be done beautifully, no wrong in that one. But the basic expectation is this one. When someone asks you, introduce yourself just like that, whatever your memorization from my memory, without I forget it, before I forget everything, I vomit it. That is not expected at all. Right? That is not expected at all. The most expected ones are, what are the most expected ones? Gratitude. First, you have to thank you. Thank the person. Thank you for giving the opportunity. It's the right time to share about me. I'm really overwhelmed by sharing a few information about me. Hopefully, people have gone through my resume, and I wanted to share something which is not their part of resume, and that can be helpful for the interview panel to take forward this process. So good, so neat. Nothing more, nothing less. From there onwards, you start about yourself. All right. Very important. These etiquettes, very important. Yes, you cannot avoid it. And certain body languages in the interview that has to be followed. Don't slouch. Don't sit like this. Slouching position. Sit straight, and when your chairs are being placed, you can sit like a dining table. You can have a small gap between the reclining position and your back. Nothing wrong in having that. But at the same time, don't be so rigid. Uh, as if you're standing in the attention position right in front of some army and you're ready to fire on the go. Not that is also not expected. That is not required, right? So you try to be a little more calm, collected, relaxed, but don't be too lazy to answer that. Don't slouch. Eye contact. When you are having an interview panel with a combination of men and women, right? So kindly watch this one, guys. When you're having an interview panel, which is a combination of men and women together, uh, your eye contact should be shared if it is 5 people and you're having 2 women and 3 men, right? 40% of your eye contact should be on 2 women and 60% of eye contact should be shared by 3 men. So which means that all the 100% of the eye contact on all the individual who are being seated. Don't answer to the person who only questioned you, because question can be from every corners. The person from here, there, so everyone will be questioning you. At that time, don't try to answer facing that particular person who asked you the question. Take that question from him, receive it, process it. When you're delivering your answer, it should be commonly delivered. You should have eye contacts on all. That's the expected behavior. So keep very good eye contact. This is another one. Don't lean forward like this. You're leaning on the table so much. That's not expected. Don't lean so much. At the same time, don't lean backward. That is also not expected. Right? So straight, and you have to be comfortable. And as I told you, when you're keeping your arms, no, wrist position, don't forget the wrist to forearm. So that position can be on the edges of the table. That's a good etiquette. Right? Keeping the elbow like this, not expected. Right? And keeping everything here, not expected. On the this one, it's okay. And when you're keeping your file, this is the only position. That is your position where you're having the elbows, sorry, the wrist and the forearm positions on your edge of the table is the expected position. So kindly keep that position. Don't point anyone as you are asking for. No, your point is wrong. That is, you should not point someone with your no, don't point someone with your fingers, right? So that's really a bad idea. People might get offended. In many cultures, that is being treated as you are pointing someone and you are finding mistakes on someone. So that kind of things will be noted up. So kindly do not point your the index finger. Index finger meaning this finger. So don't point someone on fingers. That's very wrong. Don't do that. Don't cross your arms like this. Don't cross your arms. This is not expected, which means you're not open to any discussion. People will have this idea when you're closing your arm like this against your chest. Now, people will think that you're not open for anything. And this one also, keeping your arms closed and keeping it here right in between your lap. Again, that's not expected. So you can have a better choice of behavior. Right? So this is the better. Don't stare for too long. When you have a very impressive people on the interview panel, though they are so impressive to you, don't stare at them for longer time. Right? Keep on staring. How dare you can ask me this question? So these kind of signals, your eyesight should not send. Right? Don't stare for other people for long, and don't fidget. Uh, Wonderful meaning. Anyone, guys, what do you mean by this fidget? Literal meaning. Anyone? What do you mean by fidget? Literal meaning. I don't know the real meaning. What is expected here? What is the meaning of this fidget? Come on, guys, quickly. You can ask, of course, you can browse through also and let me know. Yes, you have a device in your hand, you can browse through and you can get me. And the last point is don't keep looking around the room. Though it is a very nice place. Sneha sir, yeah, showing some actions during when you are so nervous, that's correct. But again, what sort of actions? That's more important. When people are so anxious and so when they become nervous, no, they shook their head so much to everyone who they are asking or whatever they are asking. They shake their head so much. Outcome of nervousness. Many of them are used to stutter, right? So stuttering again, basic outcome of nervous. You are so anxious to answer the question. So those things are all we are calling it as fidgeting. If you feel that so you're a little nervous, no, just to make a quick relax. What I did now, that's the right idea that you can do it. Just cough somewhere around. Cough for take 2 minutes, cough a little. I mean, don't cough highly. People think that you are infectious. Don't cough like that. So like so this gives a quicker relaxation for you to get over that nervousness, right? Just a few seconds it should be. It should not extend for long, right? And quickly change your positions. That is right. Like this, right? At the same time, don't come to this position, right? To overcome that one, or don't go to this position. That's obviously it's wrong. So always when you are fidgeting, try to overcome with a quick changeover in your body position. That can help you to get rid of nervousness. So and don't keep looking around the room. Again, that is not expected. Don't keep looking around the room. That is like, okay, wow, what a wonderful wall paint they have done it. Wow, what a wonderful art they have hanged around on the walls. Not expected, right? What a good furniture they have used inside this room. Oh, wow. So not expected at all, right? So don't keep looking around the room. Now, all these things are unawarely we will be doing that. It's not that purposefully I'm doing it. I'm not aware about that. I should do it. I should not do it. So can you do that one? Okay, so people quickly will have another video which can explain you the same interview etiquette a little more freely or a little more in depth. Let's see for that one. One second, please. Okay, people observe this video. This actually this particular YouTuber, this channel is called as Gentleman's Gazette. Gentleman Gazette is like typically for the people who wanted to have who have taken personal branding so seriously and who wants to develop themselves as a very well extraordinarily developed or extraordinarily exuberant brand to people. This particular YouTube channel could be little helpful for you. And he's not only sharing the job interview etiquettes and tips alone. He's having throughout your behavior what sort of etiquettes you are expected. So everything will be there. So let's start watching this video for a while and let's see. You can observe more things, guys. Whatever he's sharing.
Gazette. In today's video, we talk about interview tips and etiquette. This is part 3 of a series, and so far we covered what to wear to an interview, as well as how to prepare an interview. First of all, you need to have the right outfit. If you've missed that video, please check it out here.
People kindly do check for these two videos also. These two videos are, it's really a wonderful one. What to wear for an interview, right? What to wear to an interview and how to prepare for a job. Your preparation element and your dressing sense for the interview. These two are really, really useful and wonderful videos. Kindly do observe it before you see this video. But anyways, those two videos, if I just start doing it, it may, I don't have much time. Let's go for this video. When you have time, have it. When we have time for further etiquette growing, then we'll go for those videos. But when you people are doing it, kindly do give a watch on those videos.
It is essential. Second, get a haircut before you have an interview.
Very important. A nice groomed haircut where your face is being seen. I've seen many people, their hair is covering half of their faces where people will not be able to see what sort of a personality you are. Kindly avoid it. You need to have a better haircut before you go.
If you have many interviews in a row, of course you don't.
Yeah, robe kind of hair trims, that is okay for modeling. Right? When you go for doing something like a modeling or when you're choosing your career as acting or filming or you're part of any kind of a documentational and you're starring some movies, that's fine at that particular time. But generally, it is expected to have a neat haircut for something, a neat career-oriented jobs, right?
You need to get a haircut every day, but you should just look clean and professional. Make sure not to wear overpowering cologne. You may be tempted, but that Axe is really smelly and people will not think it's great.
Very important. Don't wear a high cologne perfume. Generally, men make this particular mistake. We'll be wearing a very, very high cologne thing like wear that. Who's that fellow? Uh, Millen, the Reebok fellow who came. What is his name? Nice name. He's an athlete. He comes for the advertisement called Old Spice, the aftershave lotion or the cologne, and those kind of cologne, high cologne or high masculine aftershaves or the perfumes can be avoided, because when you enter the room, throughout the room freshener will come down and only your smell of the perfume will be spread out throughout. So don't wear that such kind of
Even
thing.
if you have a higher end cologne, try to stay away from it for the day. You just take a shower beforehand and you'll be fine. In a professional setting, try to cover your tattoos. Of course, if you apply for a job at a restaurant that's full of hipsters, you can show your tattoos. It always depends on what the job is about.
Tattoos, if you're having it, hide it. If it comes to a bank manager jobs, if you're going for a hipster kind of or a waiter kind of jobs, then it is absolutely fine to have more stylish tattoos, because that is carrying value for you. And again, it depends on the job, right? Whenever you're going for a higher end kind of a job, what you're going there, if it is required, you show it. But professional career, don't show that you're wearing a tattoo.
Before you head out the door, make sure to remove any tags and threads, because otherwise they may think you have never worn a suit before and you're not in a professional setting. And also check for stains and holes, because it makes you look sloppy. Now,
The most important one. When you're wearing a blazer, no, identify that blazers should not have any sort of tags on that one. And the blazer should be fitting you perfectly, right? Having a little extra tummy there, shoulders are not meeting on the respected positions, then the blazer will look very, very awkward in the interview, and stains not being neatly ironed or pressed properly. Avoid those kind of shirts and blazers. Always keep these things in your
now it's time to get to the interview. Make sure to arrive 30 minutes prior to the interview time.
I don't take that one. You have to be on time, right? 30 minutes prior to the place, it's okay. But to that particular panel, you be on time.
I know that may seem like a lot, but it's essential because there can be traffic, things may go wrong, and trust me, they will go wrong. And last but not least, you don't know the facilities, you don't know how long it takes to find a secretary or the right room, so give yourself enough time. If you end up with extra time, simply review your questions, take a seat, and about 5 to 10 minutes before the interview, head to the reception and let them know you're here. You can also leave a business card and just tell them that you're here for an interview with a specific person.
Nothing wrong in leaving your business cards. That's a very good habit when you're going for an interview. Don't leave the business cards unnecessarily where it is not being asked, where you're not being noted at all. Don't try to give your business card and unnecessarily don't get yourself insulted by people not taking your business cards. So it should have a value. It should kindly have that the precise value addition to the business card what you're giving it.
Make sure to turn off your cell phone, and if somebody offers you something to
turning
drink,
off cell phone,
don't ask for anything elaborate. Just go with plain, non-carbonated.
Yeah, avoid carbonated water or aerated drink right before the interview, because in the interview you might be gulping. Oh, not expected, right? Have a plain water. That's more than good enough. Right? Have a plain water. Don't drink more aerated. Vishal Chawla raised your hand. Yes, Vishal, can I get to know why you raised your hand? Okay.
Sorry, sir, by mistake. I lowered.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, guys, let's move on here. So as I told you, don't have the carbonated drinks right before the interview. The reason could be like you might be gulping in front of the interviewer. So when you're gulping, that sends a wrong signal. So kindly do not do that one. Just have a plain water.
water. Next up is interview demeanor. It's very important that you give a good first impression. Let's say you're in a conference room and you walk in with people, or you don't. It's best to stand and only sit if you're asked to. If it's too long and they ask you to sit, try to take a spot that is faced towards the door so you can get up when somebody enters. Also, this is not
Very important notification, this one, guys. Be seated only when it has been asked to take a seat. Right? So kindly do be seated only when it has been asked to take the seat. And when you're taking the seat, ensure that you're seated facing the door, as on when some top people enters. There is nothing wrong in getting up and waving at their board, getting up and making the person feel that that person is noted by you. Right? So when someone is entering, you are an interviewer, not noting that, and you are trying to answer someone's question, or you are trying to not having a proper eye contact with the person who joins the room, that sends a wrong signal about you and about your mannerisms. So always, when you're asked to take a seat, take a seat. And if you have taken a seat, kindly ensure that you're facing the room's entry point, where if someone joins you for the interview, nothing wrong in getting up and signaling that you're interviewer and you're here for a job interview, and nothing wrong in giving or respecting the person who is joining it, and who knows, he could be a CEO of the organization as well. There is nothing wrong in respecting. It's not that we are pleasing. So a basic respect that is expected from the person.
the time to take the boss chair with the leather covers, sit on it and play games, because somebody may come in the door at any time. So this is the chair for them, you take the regular chair. When somebody comes in, it's important to shake their hand with a firm grip, and you have to look them into the eye. Also, offer them a copy of your resume and then let them take the lead. You're in an interview
and carry enough resumes copies with you. The reason being, when someone is coming there for newly joining, they might not have gone through your resume. So having a copy to them, leaving a copy with them, then you can expect them to start the lead or take the lead. For example, let them start asking something. You don't ask it. And a firm handshake with a direct eye contact, very important. Right? Firm handshake with a direct eye contact, very, very important. That sense that you are so positive for the interview.
And you just go along. Tone, body language, and grammar are very important because you want to project professionalism and confidence at all times. First, sit up straight. That's actually easiest if you don't sit back in the chair, but just sit slightly forward, push your back up. It makes you seem alert, and people will appreciate it. Also, avoid crossing arms or fidgeting with something or moving your leg, because it...
Yes, as I told you, crossing arms to be avoided, fidgeting, very, very important measure that needs to be avoided. When people are on the hectic pressure, no, they will do all these things because nervousness is getting outdated, and they will keep on shaking their legs. They will keep on shaking their legs. They will not. They'll grow a little restless. So all these are nothing but the symptoms that you are fidgeting, symptoms that you are nervous, and certain actions are coming out of your emotions, out of your control. It has been noted. Kindly do not do that when it comes to a professional interview.
It may seem that you're nervous, and it can be distracting in the interview. It's important to minimize the use of slang words, ams, or I don't knows, because it makes you seem incompetent, and that's what you want to avoid. If you want...
When you're answering, kindly be very sure that don't use this word, I don't know. I cannot find the answer. There are different ways to put it across. Even if you don't know the answer, don't abide it to the person. Don't other that you don't understand or you don't know that answer. So right now I'm not able to recollect the answer, but I know that I can get it from I can get it from you if I can given it the sufficient time. If not, just give me time. I'll try to recollect and I'll try to answer. That's all. Right? Since it is, if you have asked for the time, probably the interviews do not have the time. That then sufficiently they'll understand that okay, you are not able to answer the question. That's all. Here, when I say this one, it is not about you're not saying that you don't know. Rather, you are trying to identify the answer for the question. So here, your attitude of answering is more being watched than your answers. So be very careful in delivering the answers for the people whom you are addressing. So
Wondering about interview questions, I suggest you check out our interview prep video where we discuss interview.
Look out for this video as well, guys. Interview prep video. Right, interview questions, what and all can be expected. The first one is basically starts from self-introduction part, as I told you already. So those things and all will be there. So kindly do go through that one. Very important.
Interview question strategies. Once they're done with their questions, it's time for you to ask good questions. So it's best to prepare those. Make sure to have about 2 to 3 very good questions that make them think, wow, this guy really thought about this job. And it's a smart question.
Very important. It is not that being an interviewer, you are getting ready only for the questions what being asked. You have to have certain questions that you need to ask to the interviewer. That makes the people to feel that he is a smart person and he is apt for the particular job. So you need to have certain smart questions for that. That we'll see it in the next class is what sort of questions can fetch you better jobs for you. So that we will slowly check on with other in the upcoming classes. Thank you all. See you all in the next class, guys, tomorrow. People, regarding the assignments, so kindly do submit your assignments at the earliest. Already time is getting rolled off. So kindly do find your time list. And many people have not signed the sheets. So kindly do come to my cabin, sign the sheets, and let's get it done by today, tomorrow. Right. So thank you all. See you in the next class, guys. Bye. Have a good day.